Impressive, I know. Very few can achieve a mastery of the sky. Yet I have made an art of creating an updraft that allows me to soar. It's considered to be quite the masterpiece of aerial techniques, even among the Rito. With proper utilization of my superior skills, I see no reason why we couldn't easily dispense with Ganon. Now then, my ability to explore the firmament is certainly of note. But let's not, pardon me for being so blunt, let's not forget the fact that I am the most skilled archer of all the Rito. Yet despite these truths, it seems that I've been tapped to merely assist you. All because you happen to have that little darkness-sealing sword on your back. I mean, it's just asinine. Unless you think you can prove me wrong, maybe we should just settle this one-on-one. But where? Oh, I know. How about up there? Oh, you must pardon me. I forgot you have no way of making it up to that divine beast on your own.
Oh, you are just the worst type of person.
Greetings, my feathered friends, and welcome to another episode of Playing by the Hyrules. This is Bender, and I'm here with Frankie and JD once again as we discuss Episode 5, in which we talk about Rito Village and Divine Beast Vah Medoh. Frankie, how you doing today?
I'm doing alright. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. It seems like it's been a while since we've been together to record one of these. I think had some sickness and some conflicting schedules. JD, how have you been doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be back talking some Zelda with you guys, and I'll get it off my chest now. It was my fault. You know, I got seriously ill, or my allergies. I couldn't talk, I couldn't breathe, and some other stuff. So if you guys are mad about it, you can blame me.
No, it's all good, man. But yeah, I'm glad we're back though, and we're getting ready to talk about this next episode. So, you know, I guess we'll just jump right into it. No reason to delay it too much. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Rito Village and the next Divine Beast. So basically, when you go to the Rito Village area, which is kind of northwest of area of Hyrule, kind of up in the mountainous area, sort of.
If it was a United States map, it would be like near, not quite up towards Seattle, like Washington area, maybe Northern California.
Yeah, something like that, sure. But yeah, so you head in that direction. You know, the village is like kind of built into these rock formations in the side, you know, kind of in the mountainous region, and there's this divine beast, Vah Medoh, which is shaped like a huge bird flying around the sky, and he's kind of terrorizing the town. Anytime they try to get near him, you know, the Rito are these bird people, so they can fly. So anytime they try to fly near him, he starts, you know, shooting things at them, and you know they can't do anything to stop him. So the Rito elder, his name is Canelli, or Canelli, I don't know how you pronounce it. He asked you to help out, and so you agreed to do that because, you know, many of the Rito warriors have been injured trying to confront this divine beast. So let's see, at what point do you see this memory of Revali? I don't remember if that was.
I think you talk to like somebody, and then they point out that Revali's landing pad. I think it's something like that, maybe, and then you go there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you're standing on that landing pad, and Link gets this memory of Revali. He's the Rito champion from 100 years ago, and he's kind of a jerk. he's like super arrogant. He's like, look at me, I have wings and you don't. I can fly. And, you know, he like kind of rubs it in Link's face that he can't fly. So, you know, you kind of have this memory of this guy. He looks a lot like Falco, kind of, from Star Fox. And so, yeah, after you have this memory, you decide that you're going to help out taking down this divine beast. So you have to go find this Rito warrior named Tiba. I guess he's very headstrong, and he's like, I don't care, I'm going to go try to take him down by myself if I have to. So you find out that he's at this flying range nearby, so you got to travel over there and talk to him. And, you know, he wants you to kind of prove yourself, so he wants you to try out shooting these targets. So it's this target practice area where these targets are on the cliff side, in several places, and there's this updraft, this constant updraft. So you can use your glider to glide up, and you use your pull out your bow and arrow, and you can, time kind of slows down as you're aiming your arrow, and you shoot these targets. You have to shoot like 5 of them, and then he's like, okay, so that satisfies him. So you take to the skies. You kind of ride on his back and like fly up to the divine beast, and the beast is like surrounded by this red shield, and it's got these shield generators around it that you're supposed to try to take out. So I believe you use bomb arrows. You kind of you use your glider to kind of glide over to the nearest one. Use your bomb arrows to blow it up. Meanwhile, the Tiba guy, he says that he's trying to draw the divine beast fire. I don't know how effective he is with that. But once you take down all the shields, you get to board the divine beast, and you have the dungeon of Vah Medoh. And I thought it was a pretty cool dungeon. Let's talk a little bit about it. I mean, JD, we'll start with you. What was your general thoughts about this dungeon? What things did you like or dislike? So let's talk a little bit about it.
So, first of all, I was a little disappointed with what Rito Village ended up being, just kind of like a rock sticking out of the ground. It's a little bit cooler once you actually get into it and like kind of poke around, but I was hoping it was something like on the top of a like really high mountain, like a giant bird's nest or something crazy like that. But anyway, I liked everything leading up to it. I liked that warrior like trying to train and get ready to fight, and then I really liked the whole, and we've seen this before with each beast. One of the representatives of that race helps you, and it was Prince Sidon with the Zora, and it was what's her name, Rihu with the Gerudo to kind of tame the beast so that you can get on it. The Rito version of that, I loved that whole scenario, the whole cutscene, the whole idea of it. I really, really enjoyed that. So, as far as just getting, I know we're gonna dig into the dungeon itself. As far as getting into getting onto it and checking it out, I really, really actually liked Vah Medoh the best. And real quick, timeline craziness. Just gonna add it in because I can't help myself. So Vah Medoh is supposedly based off of Medley from The Wind Waker, which, if this game supposedly takes place in the child timeline, how is that possible? Dun dun dun. Think about that.
I don't know. It's interesting. Frankie, do you have any thoughts about Rito Village or the approach to Vah Medoh or the dungeon itself? Anything you want to comment on?
Honestly, I kind of felt like this was maybe I don't want to say weakest dungeon that we had, but it felt like the easiest one. I kind of felt like
Easily.
I breezed. Yeah, I felt like I breezed through this one. And like Bender mentioned, Revali, I really did not like him at all.
What do you call him, Ravioli?
Ravioli, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his. So, yeah. But yeah, I felt like, a lot of the other dungeons that we did had, a lot of elements about the dungeons themselves that you were using to navigate your way through it. And, this one was kind of, all right, well, essentially, you're going to just tilt the bird left and right to basically kind of glide to different parts of it. And it was, the puzzles were pretty easy in that regard. So, that's not really a bad thing or anything. It's just like the complexity of the dungeons that we had done prior to this one. Like this one was probably just a cakewalk in comparison. But I really like the city itself. It was kind of a little more complex than I was expecting it to be. I say that, like, I think there was a side mission where you had to it was like you were basically trying to track somebody down and just going through and like navigating that area to try to figure out where this person was, and just like the various like levels of this thing, because it's essentially on the side of a cliff. Like, I just thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, I enjoyed my time there, but I felt like it was probably the least area that I spent the least amount of time in my, all the dungeons that we did.
I agree with everything you just said, Frankie. But I like the dungeon for that reason. Like, same thing. I flied through it, and I wasn't like overly impressed with the dungeons to begin with. Like, I thought they were cool. The concept is really cool, but none of them are really that hard. They're more just kind of like annoying at parts. So since we've already had to accept the fact that the dungeons are a bit like lacking in Breath of the Wild, I was kind of happy that I could kind of just breeze through it and kind of just enjoy the aesthetic of it, or the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, as Frankie mentioned, the whole thing of this particular dungeon, each one has some sort of like mechanic where you have to manipulate the dungeon in some way by opening the map, and this one, it has the bird just tilts left or right, varying degrees. So there's these there's blocks that slide around as a result of it, or there's ways you can like kind of glide to somewhere you couldn't if it was level, and when the ground is lower, that you can glide over to. There's these like kind of hanging like trolley things that you can get on and then tilt the bird, and it'll like take you along this track and get to the end of the wing or something like that. And the whole time, each time you find one of the, there's, as with all the other dungeons, you're supposed to find like 5 terminals to activate the main terminal. And each time you find another terminal, Revali is just like utterly incredulous at your competence. He's like, "You found another terminal? Wow, maybe I underestimated you." I'm like, "Shut up, dude. You're such a jerk." So yeah, there were some cool moments with this dungeon, but I kind of agree. It wasn't as mechanically interesting as some of the other ones, but it was still, I still liked it. It was still pretty cool. So yeah, after you finish the dungeon, you have to fight Wind Blight Ganon, which I thought this was a decent boss fight. I mean, there's kind of some updrafts going on, kind of some tornadoes that he shoots out, and you just kind of use your glider and use arrows and try to shoot him, and then wail at him with your sword if you can knock him down, stuff like that. I don't remember all the details. It's been a while since I played this particular boss fight, so I don't remember all the details about the fight. Either of you guys have any comments on the boss fight?
So for me, actually, I think this was my favorite Ganon fight. So essentially, this one, he has this big gun. I think it's more of a grenade launcher, if I'm remembering correctly. But I don't know. I enjoyed my time with this one. It was you could basically fire bomb arrows at the gun he was wielding, and that would do damage to him. And a lot of the times, like, you had to be up in the air and kind of doing stuff up there to damage him, and I really enjoyed that. So I think this was actually probably my favorite Ganon fight of all of them. And, obviously there were several, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. JD?
Yeah, I liked it too. They all kind of blend in a little bit with me because they are very similar. They're just different variations of, Wind Blight, whatever the element is for that corresponding dungeon, it's that, and then Ganon. And the aesthetic of them is very similar. I kind of feel the same way about the bosses that I do about the dungeons. Like, they're, like, in an overall sense, they're cool, and they're certainly not bad. I personally like when my bosses are a little bit harder and a little more, like, unique, but because of the nature of how the items are in this game, you can't, like, exactly, it wouldn't work that way. So, but overall, I liked it, and I liked where you fought them kind of out in the open air. It was cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that you're kind of fighting him up at the top of this bird, and you're just kind of out in the open. and you kind of glide around with your glider and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, even like I think that might have been, well, it's my second favorite. We'll talk about that in the next episode, but just like the descent of actually boarding the beast, because this was one I think you were flying around on this dude and you had to bring down the shield, so you're jumping up in the air, you're gliding around, and of course time stops while you're aiming your arrows, so you're blowing up these shield boxes for the bird itself. So, the guy that you're flying on ends up getting injured, so, he's like, oh, it's up to you, and it's just like, you just see Link, like, sailing down and landing on top of this bird, and it's so cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's, like, the same with one of the other guys, too. We'll talk about it, in the next dungeon, but there's a similar scenario where Link is, with his guide for that dungeon, getting to that dungeon, and he just kind of, like, goes right to it. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, after you defeat Blight Ganon, you see, Revali, and he's totally dead.
Totally dead.
He's totally dead, for sure.
Still
like the
a
King
jerk.
of Hyrule. Like the King of Hyrule.
Exactly. And the other champions you've met before, so they're all totally dead. And so he gives you his ability, which is Revali's Gale. Now, with Revali's Gale, you can hold down the jump button, and it charges up this vortex, and you can use your glider to shoot up in the air, and you get to use that to kind of traverse the world. It's very, very useful to have for like traversal. If you're trying to get somewhere quickly, you can kind of shoot up using that ability. I honestly think that this is my favorite of the champion abilities that you get throughout the game.
I second that.
I think Revali's Gale is really cool, very useful. And I think you get to use it, 3 times before you have to wait for it to recharge? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I believe so.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was really cool. You guys have any other thoughts about that power?
Very useful.
Yeah, like you said, it's probably the one that I utilized the most. I found myself falling on it a lot later on in the game after getting it, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're like in the mountains or something, like a big cliff that you have to climb.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, well, I'll shoot up there with Revali's Gale first, then I'll climb the rest of the way. Makes things so much quicker. So yeah, I thought that was awesome. So yeah, then so that's pretty much all we have to say about the dungeon, I guess. I mean, there's still other things that we could talk about with the Rito Village itself, or the Rito people, some of the side quests or shrines in the area. Do you guys have anything that you remember specifically from that area that you want to talk about?
The only thing I distinctly remember was so if you head, I want to say it's north of that area. That was the first labyrinth dungeon that I ran. No, it's not. It's the second one I ran into. But yeah, the labyrinth puzzle that's north of Rito Village is really cool. So that was cool getting up there. And on my way up there was there's a Lionel walking around, and that's the first time that I had done the thing to hop on them and because you can mount them, air quotes, mount them. So that was the first time
That's
that
what
I
she said.
did that. Yes. But yeah, that's the only thing I remember is like the area right around there is this really it's like this really cool mountaintop you explore. Like there's a couple of really cool secrets up there. So it's surrounded by one of my favorite areas to explore.
Yeah, I agree that dungeon is cool. I actually cheesed that one too. I climbed to the top and figured it out that way. But I did actually go back because I know there's items and cool stuff in there and did it the legit way. So I enjoyed that.
That one
myself.
actually, they I felt like they knew people would try to cheese it because there was like
You have to
there
kill
were a
that
couple-
goo.
Well, yeah, but there are also a couple of chests up there. Like they
Oh,
just-
right.
Yeah, they put like 'cause I remember getting some diamonds up there, and but yeah, actually it was that was another one that I couldn't figure out where I was going right away, and like I had stumbled across the gooey area, and I ended up figuring out because you could sail over it if you jump from the top, so
Right.
that was kind of fun
Yeah,
when I did that.
Yeah, you do. There was a couple parts I had to jump down regardless, even though I came up to the top and cheated that way. But it is cool that they just, hey, if you feel like doing this maze and you wanna, there's rewards for doing it. It's fun, it looks cool, and there's items you can find, or you can just do it like as if you were Link in real life. Link would probably, depending on the situation he was in, just do it that way. So I like how they put that option there a lot. Can't say it enough, the amount of, the lack of handholding in this game just makes everything so much better for me.
Yeah, same here. I love that you're just free to do pretty much whatever you want to do, and I think that's really cool. So I forgot to mention that after you defeat each of these divine beasts, there's the divine beast will like climb up on some high point and like shoot this red laser towards the castle, and getting ready for their assault on Ganon. And so the Vah Medoh was pretty cool because it like flies up and there's this big like perch, like this huge rock formation
that was
just
cool.
perches itself on, and then it shoots out that laser, and that's where it stays there, and for the rest of the game. But I thought that was really cool. And one of the shrine quests actually involves that perch, because there's these two little Rito girls, which, by the way, the Rito children are like adorable. Like they look like little like Disney characters, like characters from DuckTales or something. Like they're like pink or baby blue, and they like tweet like very like cute sounds. Yeah. But anyway, there's these two Rito girls that, maybe I'm thinking of a different quest. No, the one I'm thinking of, there's these two Rito women who know they know this poem or whatever, this old song, that serves as a clue for where you can find a shrine. So one of them will know the other one half of the songs. Like, well, you have to go talk to my sister, she knows the other half. So you go talk to her, and she knows the other half, and it's you have to figure out the clue. So basically, the idea behind it is that about midway up through that rock formation, that perch, there's like kind of this hole. It's like a heart-shaped like hole, like a hollowed out through the cliff, and you have to wait for a certain time of day, and when that hole, when the sun shines through it, it'll shine on this pedestal, and then if you're standing there when it lights up, then I think you shoot an arrow like towards the sun or something like that, or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. I'm probably confusing a couple of them.
Yeah, you gotta glide. So like when the sun is shining through the heart-shaped like crevice or whatever, you gotta glide down and shoot the dais, whatever that's called. The thing that looks like it's a shrine, but it's not. It doesn't actually. You know what I mean? All the things you need to use to activate shrines. The little pad. You float down when the sun's lined up, and you shoot an arrow on it, or you either land on it. I forget which one of those two.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, when it glows orange, that's when the light is shining on it. It glows orange, and you do that, and then the shrine will pop up, which was pretty cool.
What about the snowball one we did, Bender? That one was cool. That's in this area, right?
The which one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Snowball shadow one.
Yes.
I don't know. If you did
I think
that one.
It was somewhere in I think it was in the Hebra Mountains, which is not too far from Rito Village, so we can talk about it. So in the mountains, you find this like old actually not even a full cabin. It's like a broken like part of a cabin, but there's a book there. There's like somebody's journal, and they wrote about how they think they can find they think there's a secret where you have to cast a cold shadow on this pedestal that's like impaled in the side of the wall. So like,
and we did it two different ways, Bender. Remember?
Yes, we did. Yeah. So there's like snowballs around. Oh, and I also noticed that there's a puddle of water on the edge of the cliff, like on the other side from where the pedestal is. So you have to wait for a certain time of day. Again, this is one where you have to wait for a certain particular time of day. But what I did is I used my cryonis to bring up a pillar in the water right there, and I just stood there and waited for you have to wait for the shadow to hit the pedestal, and then the shrine will pop up. So talk about your experience with that, JD.
I mean, same thing. I found the like little diary from the guy, and excuse me, figured out, okay, cold shadow. It's got to be something with the snow. There's snowballs laying around, but I just did it that way. I picked up a snowball, rolled it till it got a little bigger, and then just stood in front of it and waited for the sun. I wasn't as clever as you, so, props for that.
No, that's what's cool about it, is it lets you do it different ways. I actually tried the snowball first, but what I did was I carried it up the hill, and I tried to roll it down till it got bigger, but I couldn't stop it because it ended up rolling off the edge, and I was like, oh man. So I was like, I don't know. No. What I was intending to do is I was gonna build a snowman. I thought that's what you had to do.
That would be. Oh yeah, that's right. You said that. That would be funny, man. If you could have done that, or if you did that.
Yeah. So I was trying to roll one of them bigger. Then I was gonna grab another one and roll it a little bit bigger and put it on top. And hopefully, I was like, well, that should be tall enough to cast a shadow. But no, it ended up rolling off the edge. And then I noticed the water, and I was like, oh, okay. I think I can just use Cryonis here. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool one. And then there's one more that I remember from this area where I think this is the one I was thinking of and getting it confused with the other one, is you have to talk to several of these Rito children, and you have to get them together because they're all sisters, and they're supposed to be practicing at Warbler's Nest to sing a song. So when you finally find them, one is way up high, and you have to kind of climb up to get to her. You finally find them, and you also have to cook a meal for one of them.
Yeah, this is
to get her to join.
This is one of the ones where
salmon menage or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
because you have to go and find where the one sister is who's catching the fish. So that was where I kind of realized, oh wow, there's actually the entrance to getting in there is actually pretty complex. Complex wasn't the right word, but it's a lot more drawn out than just simply strolling into a village. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's several kind of pillars, kind of islands of rock that are kind of connected by bridges that you have to kind of walk across to get through to the village, which is pretty cool. So yeah, you go and catch this fish, and you gotta get whatever other ingredients you need and cook this meal for this girl and give it to her. And then when you get them all together, they meet at this place where there's this shrine. And I actually didn't finish that one. I didn't figure out what to do from there, because they start singing their song, and they each sing one note. And there's 5 girls, and they're each singing one note in this particular order.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do, because I was like, I don't know how to make music.
Yeah.
Bender.
So
you guys can tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this one I was lost on this one for a couple minutes too. I figured, maybe I have to shoot an arrow, because there's 5 pillars that surround you, and I thought so. Okay, so I just gotta shoot an arrow through these in the order that the song is. So that's what I ended up doing. Tried doing it first, that didn't work. So I was like, So I had a Korok leaf on me, and I just tried on a whim to tried that. And when you you wave the Korok leaf in one of the directions, it makes a noise. I'm like, all right. So yeah, you have to. I ended up writing down the order to do it in, just because I knew I'd forget. Listening to it 4 times, I'm just gonna write this down. So, yeah, you need a Korok leaf on you, which I kept one of those on me just in case at all times, that and a torch I just always had on me. So yeah, I ended up kind of accidentally lucking out in solving that one.
See, that actually crossed my mind when I was trying to figure out the solution, but I didn't have a Korok leaf, so I was like, I don't know where to get one of those. I think one of them, back to this later.
I think one of them will give you one if you don't have it. Because I remember before I even started it, I talked to one of them, and I'm pretty sure she's like, here, this might help, or hey, thanks for getting us all here, and she gave me that, or there was one laying around. But I figured it out. I knew what to do once I got the leaf, right? And I'm making the sound. I got it, and I'm like, all right, I know I played it in the right order, and I did that 10 times, and I wasn't standing on the pedestal. So I'm and end up trying to shoot arrows through it, do it at different times of the day, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm so stupid.
I didn't see a Korok leaf anywhere, and I don't know if they just don't give it to you if you have full weapons or something.
That's possible.
None of them gave me anything. So
I know I did not have one, and I know I got one in that area. So she might not have given it to me. And maybe I'm making that part up, but I know that I got one in that area, and that helped me figure out right away what to do.
Yeah, maybe I'm making it up. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mix things up in my head, man. I do that.
I mean, to be fair,
That's
JD's
okay.
case, this was probably 100 hours ago, so.
No, not quite, but yeah, it was a little while ago.
Yeah. No, I think you just have to you can get a Korok leaf. I think you just have to cut down a tree, and sometimes one will be laying there when the tree falls down. So
Right.
I'll have to go back and finish that one. That's one of the shrines. I think I've got 95 shrines down so far, so I've only got 25 left to go. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Did you get all the shrines yet, JD?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I was really fun. I really enjoyed the shrine hunting, and I finished the main story stuff, and I probably had 80 or so shrines done, and I didn't feel like, I'm just wasting time now. I probably enjoyed the game more from that point than anything else. Just being finally free to just go around, explore, look for shrines and stuff. It's been really fun, and to be honest, I'm still playing here and there, not as much, but just exploring and just moving around in that world is so fun.
Yeah, I'm still playing too. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the shrines and go into more detail about those in a future episode. I think we're going to talk about some of our favorite ones and some of our favorite experiences, some of the shrine quests and all that stuff. So look forward to that. But yeah, I feel the same way. I want to get all the shrines and do all the side quests at least. I'm not going to go for all the Korok seeds. There's no way I'm going to be able to find 900 Korok seeds. But if I can get all the shrines and all the side quests, then I'll feel like I've had my fill of the game. I'll be done. Feel like I'll be done with it until the DLC at least.
True.
Which is another thing. We're definitely going to have to get together one more time after the DLC, after we play through it, and have another episode to talk about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I didn't have anything else that I really wanted to talk about specifically from the Rito Village area. Did you guys have any final thoughts that you wanted to comment on before we wrap this one up?
Nope.
No, I think I'm good. I enjoyed it very much, despite some of the little things that I wasn't quite fond of, and it's one of the more chill, aesthetically pleasing regions of the area, and I really like still going around there and just poking around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like the Rito people. They're some of the cooler, characters in the game. I like them a lot. They're pretty cool. So I guess we'll just call it for this episode. I know it was a little bit of a shorter episode this time, but
makes sense with that shrine kind of being much easier and quicker. And I think in general that the Rito involved stuff was kind of to a lesser extent than some of the other areas and races in the game.
Yeah, definitely seemed like things moved a little bit quicker going through that area. I mean, maybe it was because it was our third shrine. Maybe if it was our first shrine, we would have spent a little more time on it or spent more time getting through it. I don't know, but yeah, it was still enjoyable regardless. So I've enjoyed this episode talking about this with you guys. So we'll definitely look forward to next time. Next time we're going to be talking about Divine Beast Vah Medoh Dungeon in the Death Mountain volcano area, which was a really cool dungeon. So we're definitely going to be looking forward to that one. So until next time, I guess we'll give out our contacts and everything. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at Bender_guitar. You can find our stuff on shortpause.com, and you can follow us at the shortpause on Twitter. If you want to find me on gaming, I can be found at me_Bender on PSN and on Nintendo Network, and on Xbox Live I'm meBender82. Frankie, how about you?
If you want to seek me out, I of course am Viper Strike. That's on everything: PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Nintendo Network, Twitter, pretty much anywhere. VYPRSTRYKE. Then I just wanted to give a quick mention to my latest thing I put up on the site. I actually reviewed a game called The Sexy Brutale. I mentioned this because I think it is maybe one of the best games I played this year, and everyone needs to try it out. So if you want to check out that review, it's live on the site now. Yeah, that's about all I got.
Cool. JD?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at PlayNListen, PLAY, the letter N, listen, and you can find me gaming on Xbox and PlayStation. If you look for Delune1989, that's DELUNE 1989, and yeah, I think that's it. If you want to hit me up on Nintendo for some, multiplayer games which are coming soon, like Mario Kart and stuff, hit me up. I'll give you my friend code, and we'll be good to go.
Cool deal. All right. Well, with that, we really do appreciate you listening to Playing by the Hyrules episode 5. We've enjoyed the show so far. Look forward to the future episodes. So until then, we will see you next time. Have a good day.
See ya.
So long.